right, and we're back. So, Disney and Marvel have announced the return of the Captain America franchise, which honestly should be a good thing. Should be very exciting now with Anthony Mackie at the lead, at the helm, carrying the shield. But they're making kind of a major mistake, in my opinion. Let's get into it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Okay, so lots to go through here, and I found some interviews that I found interesting, and overall, the news, it sucks because the news should be good, and I was half excited for a second, but unfortunately, it kind of went downhill. But before I get into it, let me just give a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World, streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. It's a wild card. I don't know if I'm going to be back tomorrow or not. We'll see. I got some equipment that I want to test out, so we'll see. I don't know. Might be back, might be not. Who knows? Anyway, like I said, you can find me there on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. Like, subscribe. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the newest news that the Marvel Universe, the MCU, has decided to return to the Captain America franchise, which is exciting because overall, overall the franchise isn't really that great. I mean, the MCU needs a Captain America, but the movie franchise overall hasn't been that great. I know a lot of people like Civil War. I'm not one of those people. I have a lot of issues with it. I've complained about it incessantly. But and the first Captain America is terrible. I mean, in the middle of it, they kind of forget that they're in the Second World War, but whatever. But the second one's really good. Captain America: The Winter Soldier is among my favorite movies in the MCU. And so if they went back to that, to making a Captain America movie that's kind of more of a spy movie with a superhero in it, that'd be fantastic. And now that they have Sam Wilson as the lead, aka the former Falcon, or Captain Falcon as some of the people are calling him now, it's even better because unlike Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson is a normal dude. So you could actually make it even more of a spy movie, more kind of like a spy thriller, which would be really exciting. Except, there's a little bit of news that came down along with the announcement of the movies that got me pretty, I'd say, not excited about it. Or, you know what, let's just go ahead and say concerned. So I'm going to review the whole thing. So this is a per report from The Hollywood Reporter. Disney and Marvel Studios are having Malcolm Spellman develop the fourth installment in the series, which is tentatively called Captain America 4. It will take place after the Disney Plus show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which Spellman created and ran as showrunner. As also working on the writing the script is Dallin Moosen, who worked as a staff writer on the television series. No director is currently attached to the project. So, maybe you already picked it up, why I'm concerned, but basically the reason I care a lot about these things, the writer. I'm very concerned about the writer. And because in this case, it's the dude who created the TV show The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the show sucked. If you followed the breakdowns that I did of pretty much every episode, the show sucked. There's a lot of major plot holes. There's a lot of things that don't really make sense, and I hated it. It was stupid. It was a huge, massive waste of my time. The one thing that I'll give it is that it left things in a situation where it could be interesting. So Captain America 4 starting off from where things were left off in Falcon and the Winter Soldier could be interesting. You've set up Agent 13 kind of like as a double agent who's infiltrated SHIELD or whatever's the equivalent of SHIELD now. You have Zemo kind of doing a weird thing from jail. We're assuming he's still going to do a little bit more. And you've got what should be a very chaotic political situation around the world, or just situation in general around the world. So where things were let off, it should lend itself for something interesting, right? However, I don't trust the dude, Malcolm Spellman, or the writer. So first off, let's get the writer out of the way. So like I said, also I'll read the quote again. Also working on writing the script is Dallin Moosen. Now I'm sorry, Dallin, yeah, Dallin, I don't know. Who the hell is Dallin Moosen? Well, I checked his IMDb credits, and the dude's only written 4 things in his life, or at least professionally. One was a documentary, so it doesn't count in the superhero arena. The second is Iron Sky: The Coming Race, which I've heard sucks. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it sucks. And then, well, now he's in his IMDb says that he's going to be the script writer for Captain America 4. So I guess that doesn't really count, but because he hasn't really written it. And the last credit he has there is 1 episode for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, guess which episode he wrote. All right, I'll give you 2 seconds. 3. Guess which episode he wrote. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Okay, enough time. He wrote episode 5. Now, for those of you who don't remember what episode 5 was, it's because it was boring and it sucked. It's the one where they're on a boat pretty much the entire episode. They're just hanging out on a boat, trying to fix it. It's where everybody's like, what the fuck are we doing on this fucking boat? There was 6 episodes of the show. There's still a lot to get done, and there's a whole lot of not doing it. It was very much, very annoying, and very much a waste of fucking time. So, you got that guy who wrote probably the worst episode of a bad series in general. I'm not. I don't think I'm particularly excited about that. Next, you got the showrunner, who's also going to be a writer here, and I went through his credits again because that's what I do. And as a writer, he wrote a couple of video games, so video games are fine. But he wrote 2 video games for The Sopranos, which okay. I mean, I've never played the games. I can't tell you if they're good at writing or not. Then he wrote the screenplay for Our Family Wedding. Then he wrote 6 episodes of Empire. And the next writing credits that he has is Captain America 4 Muscle, which are currently in pre-production. So again, they don't count as well. And the last credit that he has is being the creator, head writer, producer, showrunner of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which sucks. So I'm very much concerned about the writing team here. It is a major, major issue because, listen, for all the failures that the show did and things that didn't make sense, I was willing to forgive him because the way that it ended could have lent itself for an interesting continuation of the story. Captain America 4, starting off from there, where you know there's a double agent already in the inside and all that stuff. It could have been interesting. And you got Sam Wilson, who's a normal dude trying to deal with all the situations. Could be interesting. However, I don't see it going that way anymore because this writing team, it sucks. It's terrible. And I've complained about this a million times. Now, it depends on who they get as a director. If they get a good director, they'll probably just, nix a whole bunch of the bad elements of the story. But it's still not confirmed who the hell is going to do it. I'd like the Russo brothers to return because the Russo brothers did Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So if they could get them back, that'd be good. But who knows? I don't think they're going to do it. So far, the only 3 people attached to this project are Anthony Mackie, who, by the way, when they announced the movie, they did not confirm there was going to be Anthony Mackie, which is weird. And the 2 writers who I already said suck. So let's go into this article a little bit. So the report says that it will likely involve Anthony Mackie, but IMDb says he'll be there, so I'm assuming he'll be there. Who plays Sam Wilson Falcon in the MCU? Falcon currently wields the shield, so it's the most natural conclusion. Mackie's co-star Sebastian Stan is also likely to appear as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Seeing how there have been multiple Captain Americas in Marvel lore and even the MCU, there are a lot of interesting ways for the film to go, and that is true. It does have a lot of possibilities here. I don't think that the Winter Soldier is necessary here, but they wanted to do like this buddy cop thing that didn't work out. And honestly, Falcon the Winter Soldier, I think it could have actually ended up being a better show if they were kind of competing for the shield. Like, they try to be friends, but at the end of the day, let's say, it starts off with Sam deciding, you know what, I don't want the shield. And so Bucky being like, fuck you, why don't you just give it to me? And so he's pissed off at Sam, but like fuck you, like actually upset. Not just, like in the weird flirty way that they did on the show. And then they give the shield, they end up giving the shield to John Walker. And then it's like a 3-way fight for the shield. Like Bucky wants it, Sam decides that he wants it, and John Walker is the one who wields it, and you got all that stuff. So that, I think that could have been way more fun to watch. And it ends up, with Sam being the one on top, and it's like, okay. Because right now Sam has the issue that he's a normal dude. All right, that's his biggest issue. He's a guy. He doesn't have any super soldier serum in his veins, and so when it comes to, like, who's a bigger threat, the Winter Soldier or the current Captain America, who's a normal dude, people are gonna be like, well, it should be, the Winter Soldier, because the dude's a super soldier and he has a vibranium arm. But if if it's if it's in a fair fight, if Sam had beaten Bucky in a fair fight, you would have been like, all right, undoubtedly he deserves the shield. So I think that would have been way better for the show if it would have been that way, like almost like an elimination style thing. It's whoever ends up like a king of the hill, and the one who ended up winning either because he outsmarted them or through guts alone or skill would have been Sam. I think that would have been a way better show in general. But they went a weird direction. And they did the whole race stuff, which is really silly because it does. I already explained why it doesn't make sense in the MCU, but I guess I can reiterate really quickly. In a world where aliens have invaded, race is no longer going to be an issue for humans because at that point it becomes the human race. All right, nobody then cares about your skin color. You care about the human race because aliens have fucking invaded, and aliens disappeared half of the population. They just snapped their fingers, the snapping, half of the population disappeared, and so everybody would have been united under like, holy shit, half people dead, oh my god. So doesn't really make sense that that would still be a thing. And in fact, the show itself says that the world during this is the Flag Smashers argument, the villains from the TV show. Their argument was, well, everything was a utopia post, the snap, those 5 years between when everybody disappeared and everybody came back, it was a utopia. Everybody was happy. So my theory is actually correct that it would have united everybody. It did. Everybody was united by two things. They were united first off by tragedy, loss of half of the population. It's a massive tragedy for everybody. I don't think there's a single person who did not lose a loved one there, or except maybe Tony Stark, because I think his family was intact. Oh no, he lost Peter Parker, and he did love him. He loved our boy Spidey. Anyway, so that not a single person walked out unscathed. And two, fear. So people were united by fear of the aliens and fear of invasion and fear of robots and a whole bunch of fear, and they were united in tragedy. So it doesn't make sense in the world of the MCU for them all of a sudden to be like, hey, you know what? Now race is an issue here. It shouldn't be an issue. And you know what? To be honest, it's kind of not an issue in our world either. It's not as big of a deal. Like, people don't care about race as much as they want to make you believe. Like, and I gave this example to my buddy yesterday. Like, it's not that important. And my example was, all right, you're going to have a random person that it's going to stay in your house. Random person. Like, out of the whole world, is going to be one random person, and they're going to show up in your house. And you can ask 3 questions. What are those questions going to be? And the most likely answer is you want to know their name, for starters, because if you know their name, you might know the person, and it's like, okay, then I already know everything I need to know. Or, if they say all of a sudden, like, his name is Adolf Hitler, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, so you'd be concerned. So you want to know their name, for starters. Second, you'd probably care about their age and their gender, because taking care of let's say a 2-year-old boy is not the same as taking care of a 90-year-old lady. Just, it's not the same thing. So those are probably the 3 questions that you'd ask. Let's expand it to 5 questions. So what would be the 4th question? You'd probably ask, what is their criminal history? Why? Because this is something very important for for somebody who's going to go and stay in your house, and you're going to be probably unconscious around. You care about their criminal history. Then you probably care about their health, their whatever, any health conditions, including mental stuff, because again, taking care of a 90-year-old diabetic is not the same as taking care of a 22-year-old schizophrenic staying in your house. Things that you care about. Then after that, if you want to expand a little bit more, you care about what they do. You care about, like, profession and stuff. You care about, let's say, attractiveness. That's also very important because, again, also, like there's not social status, but it would be like what do you call it when you're single, married, or whatever? Because taking care, I don't know, of an attractive having a attractive 22-year-old girl stay at your house is not the same as having, again, a 70-year-old diabetic. It's completely different thing. All right. Then you want to ask probably what language do they speak? Because if you have somebody that doesn't speak the same language as you do, you're probably gonna have issues. Do you speak English? Do you speak Spanish? And from some of those things, you probably have other questions that pop up. For example, let's say, has this person committed a crime? Yes. Well, you want to know what crime it is. If they say, well, what's their health condition? Like, they have any conditions? Yes. Well, what are they? I need to. What treatment do they need? What's their schedule? Stuff like that. So all this stuff are things that you want to know about a person if they're going to stay in your house. And then after all that stuff, after you know all the important stuff, then you probably care about, like, oh, well, what race are they? Maybe. And if you're kind of one of those weird people who ask that stuff, I don't know. Like, most people tend to care about stuff that's real. Most working class people don't care. All right, we don't care. We care about you being useful. You show up to work, be useful. That's it. That's the only thing that really matters. Like, in my job, like, my second job is I work at a restaurant, right? And so at the restaurant, whenever we hire a new busser or something, I always ask the same question. Whenever we hire a new person, my first question is, what age are they? What's their age? Why is this relevant? Because we've hired, I don't know, 16-year-olds or something. Because for a host busser position, it's a good starting job for some people, but it annoys me because if you hire a 16-year-old busser, they can't carry alcoholic drinks. And I mean, let's say you're clearing out a table, so people left, and there's a glass there with a little bit of alcohol in it. They can't clean it out, so it's like, all right, so it's like you're not really helping me as much because I still have to go and take care of the drink. So that's the only thing that I actually care about when they hire somebody, and then it's just you see if they work out or not. So like I said, generally not a big deal. Generally people don't care about it, and at least in practical terms, but they like talking about it a lot. So all right, I mean, whatever floats your boat. I just don't think it's something that's actually that important to people in general, right? I don't see it. All right, at least I haven't seen it. Anyway, they decided to make it a major plot in the TV show, even though it didn't really make sense for that world, which was really annoying. And so now I'm concerned about the story. And you know what's actually pretty interesting? I found an interview to reiterate this point with Anthony Mackie, and they ask him, is like, hey, dude, has there been any hate about this? And this is the thing that concerns me about the writer and about this particular storyline. So I'm gonna read this quote. This is an interview with Anthony Mackie, and they're asking him about about how the Falcon the Winter Soldier, how it put a spotlight on social issues. So here's the question. Here's the quote. All that had to do with Malcolm Spellman, a writer. He really went down that road and fought for the acknowledgement of that turbulent relationship between black men in America. The question that we came up with, that we kept asking each other every page, every scene, every time we would talk is, as a black man, you're in an abusive relationship with America. So how do you fight for, stand up, and risk your life for a country that has never given you any love, support, appreciation, or trust? And okay, that's the end of the quote. And that's how it was reflected on the show, which, again, you know what? Feel how you want to feel about America, whatever. I'm not going to argue about that. I don't really care. I'm saying in the context of the MCU, it makes no fucking sense, because that is not Sam Wilson's experience, at least, or the way the world's going to treat you when you came up when there's been an alien invasion. Things change, and they should have reflected that. That's my issue with when people project things from our world into fictional worlds. It doesn't make any sense. And you know what's actually pretty funny? The following quote from Anthony Mackie kind of disproves the previous point. So let me just read you this here. So Mackie's also surprised that he hasn't received hate online for being a black Captain America. And his quote is, I expected that to be internet buzz, but I haven't received that or seen that at all. It's easy for us to look at the news and look at what's going on and go, all people are bad, the world is going to shit. The reality is, most people are good people. A lot of people are really excited about the idea of the Falcon becoming Captain America and what that means, not only in the cinematic universe, but in our true reality. It gives the younger generation a different perspective and a different way to look at the world. That's why it's so cool, and what I'm excited about. When my kids have a birthday party, it looks like a damn crayon box in the backyard. That's the way it's supposed to be. America's a melting pot. Great. Okay. So basically, you're saying that the way that you were writing the show is disproved by reality. Because again, most people do not care. Do not care. They care about, are you doing a good job? Is Sam Wilson likable? is Sam Wilson worthy of the shield? That's what they care about when it comes to Captain America. And most people are like, yeah, I mean, he's done the job. They've written him terribly, but Anthony Mackie's done a good job as an actor, and we think we can carry we think he can carry the franchise, but they need to write the character better. That's the issue. They're not writing the character well. They're putting him in a really stupid situation that was forced. Don't put the character in those situations. Like, not the beauty of it being part of, a film, it actually being a film, not a TV show, is that they kind of have to force him to stay within certain boundaries. Like, they take a lot more, Marvel takes a lot more creative control, and it's like, no, it's got to be in this direction specifically. They don't let you mess around as much, but we'll see. So it's one of those things that, and to me, Anthony Mackie right there reiterates what I just said. Most people don't care. We're good people. You just leave us alone. We just want to go and watch a superhero movie without having a whole bunch of stuff, shoved down our throats. It's annoying. And also, the show doesn't make any sense. Make it logical a little bit, because we're not that stupid. All right? I know you think we're stupid, but we're not that stupid. All right? We're a little bit stupid, but we're not that stupid. Anyway, so yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning because you made a good casting for the Falcon. You set up the Falcon to be the one that takes the shield, which is fine. And you set up you put the villains in a situation where the next part of Captain's story could be very interesting. Let's kind of just change the writers, because the writers suck. The writers suck. Just get them out of there. Get them out. They've done nothing good. Nothing. Except maybe make Zemo a little bit more likable. That's probably the only thing that came out there. It's probably the only thing that's like, oh, okay, well, they did a good job with Zemo, which is really weird. So that's, I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm concerned once again, because I don't like when you can tell somebody has an agenda and the agenda is stupid or not. You know what? There's ways of projecting a message in a way that makes sense, and they kind of touched upon it. Zemo, when he was talking about the supremacist and the superpowered beings being supremacists, that could, some might even call it a metaphor that you could have actually explored. You could have actually, the X-Men did this for a really long time. The X-Men had dealt with a lot with the issue of racism. Maybe explore it that way, through metaphor, through Sam Wilson. He's a normal dude, and then there's the superpowered beings who look down on him, and then they think that they're better, and they think they deserve more, and blah blah blah, and he doesn't deserve as much, and he does not deserve as much respect, and then Sam Wilson kicks their asses anyway because he's good enough, and he proves it, meritocracy and stuff like that. So it's annoying. There's ways of doing it that are good ways of story. You can send the same message, but actually tell a good story. All right. My issue is not necessarily with the message. You can send whatever message you want to do, but tell us a good story while you're doing it. Don't ruin the characters. Don't force their agenda down our throats. Just do a good job. All right. Anyway, so that's it. That's the only thing I wanted to talk about today, because I saw it and I was like, oh, this could be cool. And then I was like, oh no, this is stupid, because it's the same dude who already ruined the story once. So we'll see how that goes. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. I tend to do it Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m.-ish. Today I got close. It was like 2:10 or something, whatever. So yeah, if you want to join me, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.